This is the most important line in Steins Gate 30 seconds into the first episode.
Okabe?
To understand why this is so important, let's back up just a bit.
これは抗える者たちに対する神からの最後通告と言えよ。
What does this even mean? This could mean anything. What is he warning about? Playing with time? Playing God? What is his warning? The speech itself? The story of Steins Gate? Who's resisting? What are they resisting? Time? Fate? The looming inevitability of the universe? Think about what happens. Okabe throws himself against the universe again and again, almost driving himself mad until he realizes that instead of resisting the inevitable infinite, what he needs to resist is himself, because the universe in this exact moment literally revolves around him. Meaning, in a roundabout kind of way, he is God, the one doing the warning, the one resisting, and the one who needs to listen to this warning all at once. Deep. But consider, does this actually mean anything? No. No, not really. This is the trap of getting too hung up on individual lines, because what makes this important is actually what comes next.
Okabe?
Did you catch that? Right, Mayuri came and called his name. Actually, Deep. Okabe stands there, tottering over the brink of sanity, caught up in his own delusions about time and space and God, and Mayuri calls his name and brings him back to reality. That is the story of Steins Gate. Sure, he's playing make-believe on the rooftop of his shitty apartment, but all of this, all of Okabe's delusions and his imaginary organization turn out to be real. It's a beautiful irony. And so is Mayuri's Stardust handshake, which she does for the very first time here. She stands right where he was, looking up at the stars and reaching out into infinity. But in Steins Gate, Okabe is the one that reaches out into infinity, and Mayuri is the one that pulls him back from it. Mayuri is the one that holds Okabe down to earth. They are the yin and yang of this story, and it's their relationship that allows him to cross over the edge of infinity. Mayuri is arguably the single most important character in the story because she's Okabe's North Star. Okabe is in love with Kurisu, but the person that ties him to reality is Mayuri. So while this is, up until this moment, just an ordinary moment in each of their lives, literally a single minute among the millions that they've lived, this 1 minute is the entire soul of both Steins Gate and the relationship between Okabe and Mayuri. It isn't the grandiose that matters to this story. It isn't all this convoluted shit about time and space and God and the universe, because none of that really means anything. It's the little moments in between. That's what matters. It's friendship that matters. What's important is this right here.
Okabe?
This, my friends, this is how you open a story. 3-episode rule. Try 1 minute. This is why when I do analysis, I generally try to look at the overall picture and avoid spending too much time looking at individual lines. Because if we were to just look at Okabe's spiel about time and infinity here, we'd never really get anywhere. It's the big picture that matters. It's context that matters. So welcome to my new series where I, King of Weeaboos and world's greatest Steins Gate fan, unpack one at a time, every single episode of Steins Gate with all the context and detail that I couldn't fit into any of my broader videos, he says, looking at his hour-long essay on each adaptation. By the way, in case you're watching this in the future and starting here, I want you to know that you don't need to watch these in order. These aren't reaction videos, they're gonna be a series of essays on Steins Gate as a whole, so feel free to jump in anywhere that piques your interest. Granted, they will still be loosely structured around what happens in each episode, so if you're watching every one of them, thank you by the way, you will probably get the most out of it in order. They should come out every week until we're finished. If this is a series you'd watch, let me know by stepping on that like button. And I could really use your help. This is going to cover a fucking lot of material and I need to decide what's important. So, if there's any questions you want answered about anything that happens in any specific episode, please leave a comment and let me know. And now that we've spent several minutes breaking down the first minute of Steins Gate, Kurisu. See if you can spot what's so important about her introduction.
ちょっとあなた。
おい、誰だお前は。
それはこっちのセリフです。
なんだと。
さっき何か言いかけましたよね。
This is their first meeting. Think about what this really means. Where did Okabe meet each of his friends? He knows Mayuri from childhood. He met Ferris through Mayuri, Daru in high school, Ruka and Moeka randomly on the street, Suzuha when she came looking for him from the future. Okabe and Kurisu never met for the first time. Their relationship was set in time from the start. Kurisu is drawn to Okabe because future him was in love with her. Okabe is drawn to her because future him killed her. There never was a beginning to their relationship. This chapter is called the prologue of the beginning and the end, obviously because this is where the story starts, and also when it ends when Okabe steps in the time machine to fool himself. The universe is infinite, and so is their love as they each stare into the void and find eternity staring back at them. They are true star-crossed lovers, their love etched into the fabric of time because the universe itself brought them together. It's why they were able to find each other just by randomly wandering around Akihabara and reuniting in front of the Radican building. Their relationship doesn't have a beginning or an end, it just is. And I think that's fucking beautiful. So let's take a step back from the looming heat death of the universe and move on to something a little less serious.
幼馴染であっても金は貸さん。
へえ。
お前に今人生の厳しさを教えてやろう。
Okabe is deliberately spiting his cute little friend, trying to come across as cold and proud, but is he really? He did give her the toy after all. Of course, when she says it's worth 10,000 yen, or about $100, he immediately backtracks and says to sell it, but we get interrupted before this goes any further. Would he really sell it though? Consider that 10,000 yen isn't that much money, and yet he lights up like a candle when he hears this. And consider that when eating canned oden, he cons her out of the best part.
ならちくわで手を打ってくれ。
薩摩よりはちくわかな。
よし、交渉成立だ。
And then he walks out of the beef bowl restaurant to stiff Daru with a 400 yen bill.
牛丼2人前。
え？
合わせて800円。
おかわり！
And that he keeps using Mayuri's bananas for his experiments.
これ、眉氏のじゃ。
安心しろ。マユリから提供された研究費で俺が買ったものだ。
So then, who, pray tell, wrote Mayushi's on those bananas? He's clearly cheap and lacking boundaries, but those are all trivial, almost wordless things. Would he really try to take something that's actually valuable to her? I think he wouldn't. Does this look like a face that would do that? Don't answer that.
我がラボは中央通りを進み、末広町駅の交差点を蔵前通りに左折。次の信号の一本手前の路地を入った雑居ビルにある。
God, this is so much fun. Telling you exactly where to find the lab makes it so much more real. Let's actually take a sec to pull out this map here and show you where the lab is supposed to be.
我がラボは中央通りを進み、末広町駅の交差点を蔵前通りに左折。次の信号の一本手前の路地を入った雑居ビルにある。
Brilliant. A lot of people who aren't the king of weeaboos might point to the meta-narrative going on here.
わかったか？わかったなら貴様の秘密をとっとと話すがいい。
This is obviously hilarious, but does it actually do anything with this meta-narrative? Not really. It's not a story about other worlds or dreams or reality or anything like that. What it's trying to show us is its sense of self-awareness, because this isn't an anime about a bunch of degenerate weeaboos. It's an anime about a bunch of degenerate weeaboos. Each of these characters are a trope, but they're almost parodies of that trope. They work because they're all played completely ironically. Daru is a perverted super otaku, but he has so much conviction in 2D that it's almost respectable.
二次元の嫁が泣いてるぞ。
対立団は別。三次元でも二次元魂を宿してるお。
Fitis is so far out there that not even Okabe knows what the fuck she's going on about half the time.
このフェイリスには禁断の非容疑があるにゃ。
Because it's her only escape from the loneliness of growing up without a father. Moeka is able to overcome neatdom through her phone to the point where she's actually annoying. Mayuri is so pure because she clearly has some kind of condition. Kurisu is a tsundere because she's embarrassed about being a terminally online weeaboo.
貴様が生粋のアットチャンネルだと気づいたのはずいぶん前だ。違う。今更隠したところで何の意味もない。
And Okabe is somehow every single one of these tropes and subversions combined.
俺は狂気のマッドサイエンティスト法院。今日まだ
Are you wondering why Okabe is so hilarious and so perfect for this story? That's why. So it's not the meta-narrative that counts, it's the meta-narrative where it knows it's a story and then uses this to tell the same story it was going to anyway, only better. God, this is a brilliant first episode. Not every one of these is going to be as dense as this first episode, mind you, but we've got a couple minutes left, so let's just wrap this up with something you haven't spent nearly enough time thinking about.
オカリンは本当にドクペが好きだよね。
選ばれし者の知的飲料だからな。
I don't think anyone fully appreciates how clever this is. Dr. Pepper is Okabe's favorite drink because it says doctor on it. That's shallow enough to be stupid, and this is why he wears the lab coat. Sure, he's pretty smart, but what he cares about more than being smart is other people thinking he's smart.
白衣やはり研究機関において白衣こそがユニフォーム誰もマユリも何度言ってもそれがわからないようだが
How does Kurisu react when she first sees him?
よくご存知ですね。どこか大学の研究室の方です。
貴様まさか機関が送り込んだエージェント
Yes, even Kurisu assumes he's way more impressive than he actually is because he's wearing his stupid lab coat. He's so cocky, but he's so cool that he makes you want to hit him and suck his dick all at the same time. Coming up in episode 2, why did Kurisu come to Okabe's lab after getting molested by him? The real answer might actually surprise you. Stay tuned, and as always, thank you so much for your time, friends.